Welcome to this session, Zixin. Hopefully I
Thank
pronounced it good this
yes,
time.
it's correct. Thank you.
Welcome and thank you for having this session today. And the floor is to you, students, participants. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself as well if you want. You should have this possibility. So just whatever you prefer, Zetian, if you want us to wait for the end with the questions or if you want to ask for us to ask while you're speaking. So
All
let's
right.
let's get started.
Okay. Thank you for the invitation. It's really great that I have the opportunity to be here and I can also share something about my research. So today the topic is about creating inclusion when working in distant or virtual environments. As we know, in the competitive globalization environment, the organization they have shifted their focus from only increasing the productivity to also the inimitable resources like the human capital. So human is now a really hot or popular topic now. And I have been working in the talent management field, which belongs to the human resource management. So today, I really hope that I can bring some really fresh insights and also some special topics for this discussion about the challenge. Let's go ahead. My name is Zixin, or you can also call me Ella. So let's make life easier. During the several years, I have been focusing on owning the human resource management and also from the strategic point of view. And my research is about talent management. And my focus point is exclusive, or you can say exclusive, exclusiveness, exclusivity, and so on. So it's a kind of, people may regard it as a contradictory side of the inclusion topics. So, but actually they are not conflicting to each other. And we will discuss this later. I've been focusing on reviewing different literature, and I also focus a bit more on the empirical studies about how the multinational corporations they are actually operating the talent management system, and they are how they are treating their employees, how they are attracting, how they are selecting, how they are developing, they are retaining, and how they build the commitment in between. And today, our focus is on the small and medium-sized companies, and we will discuss how they are different. These are my main research experiences, but I also have something else. So for example, I have some interesting background about accounting. So you can regard myself as a kind of person that I may put a bit more focus on the outcome, or in another way, the return on investment. So when the organizations they have invested on human, what can be the outcome? That is a really interesting topic. And in addition, I've been working as recruitment people. I was responsible for the Kentucky Fried Chicken, this brand, for 56 restaurants in China earlier. So actually, the environment is really complex, but how to realize the inclusiveness is really interesting to discuss as well. So today, in addition to your challenge and also my research background, I really want to build a connection in between. So the key topics can be what are the factors that you can consider or is really good to consider in your strategy? And the second point is there are some different tensions, there are different ideas, there are different ways to separate people's ideas. Or people say that my strategy is different from yours, but how? I summarized 5 tensions about human related management research, and I will let you know. And later on, I draw some stages of the management, and we will see what are the details under that. And finally, there are takeaways and questions and answers. And you can also just stop me and ask something if you are really interested in that. Let's go for the first page. The first key page is about factors at different levels. So when you are managing your business, you are not owning one individual group. You are also in a kind of environment that you have to be involved for the macro, meso, and micro levels. So when you are considering about the macro level, you are influenced by for example, the national economy, there are labor law, there are language, there are time difference. So even though your team can be small, but people may belong to different countries and they may speak different language and we have the time difference as well. So when you are managing your business and your employees, it's better that you focus on those details and don't forget about it all the time. And later on, the method level, it includes both the organization and the team level. So how you distribute your strategy, which industry that you are. So for example, I got to know that the ad search, it should be the tech industry, right? So it can also be influential as well. And the organization scale, your culture, what is your organization culture? And the organization culture can be different from the country culture as well. And plus, there are different systems. So some people, they may say that, well, as a small and medium-sized company, we do have the HR managers, but we may not have the structure, or we may not have the official system or the procedures for identifying or selecting or getting people promoted within 1 year, like this kind of system. We may not have it, but how can you manage that? But this is something that you have to keep in mind. And later on, the meso level, there are also team. How is your team? One team is combined by several team members, and there can be internal competition inside. So when you offer something special, no matter big or small, but if somebody else, they have not received it, there can be a kind of psychological thinking, or they may be negative as well. And then within one team, there can be team managers, there can be leaders, and how are those people, what is their style for leading people? And how is their communication skill? How is their style to communicate with others? And the method for co-working, and also the role of line manager is also another critical point that is mentioned in theory. For example, the line manager, they are usually regarded to be doing in the way that if they found themselves more similar to one employee, then that specific employee may get something more than others. This is one evidence from the theory side. And later on, the micro level. The micro level is they are the individuals, they are the single employees in one company. What is the personal expectation? And whether this kind of expectation is known by others, for example, their team leader or the manager or the company. What is the salary and benefits that is provided? And what is the expectation from the employee side? So maybe the person, they want to get more salary, but somebody else, they may want to get more opportunities. It's not only about the monetary ways. And last but not least, the feeling. This is a really important thing. What is the satisfaction and belongingness? Do they think that, well, I think that I'm part of the team, I'm part of the organization, but is that the fact? So when you are considering about solving one challenge, you should not only say about something small, something about one word, but also you should have this multi-level thinking. You should organize everything and combine the things together. This is one suggestion. And then
if I may ask,
just go ahead.
So these multi-level thinking is valid for all the company size, or is it restricted to certain company size?
I have read quite many discussions about the multi-level thinking. So it's suggested actually from the big company sides, but there are also discussions for some specific industries, for example, the hospitality industry, hotel industry, or like the service industry. And in addition to that, the small and medium sized, it can be different. So for example, this point, the role of line manager, this point is seem to be really important, especially in the big companies. but there are less discussions in the small and medium size because the role of the managers there can be weaker. They can be weaker
Okay.
in the smaller companies, but these other points or the overall multi-level thinking is critical for every single company.
Okay. And
Yeah.
are the levels more or less important then, depending on the company size? Or is it more these subtitles that you have that are more or less
There is
present?
no comparison
Okay.
between this one or that one because this is just one thinking that you should get it involved somewhere. Keep it in
Okay.
mind. Yeah.
Makes sense. So
Shall we
when thinking,
continue?
sorry,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
thinking
just go
about
ahead.
this ad search, should then
Yeah.
the students be thinking about all these four aspects that are here?
Yes. So based
Okay.
on my own understanding, within one case company, like let's say the ad search, there are employees from different countries, right?
Yes.
So there can be time difference, there can be language, the labor law, economy, is everything is together is involved.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they are working for one company and the company can be a Finnish company,
Mm-hmm.
but actually the employees they are locating or they are coming from or they have the different background from different places. So when you are managing them or when you are making business with them, you have to know that, all right, I have one colleague is from there and she or he has the time difference with me. And maybe in their law or in their economy or in their culture, it's better not to do this or that. So this is a way for thinking. So it's actually making your business more fluent. It's a kind of thinking. It's not for comparing whether you have it, then you will make it better or not. It's not for comparison.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Shall we continue
Okay.
for the next page?
Yeah.
Or
So
is
one question,
go
please.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So in here, the second one, meso organization and meso team. So
Yeah.
actually, which kind of environment will maintain between these two different contents?
So you
I
mean
mean,
the middle two ones?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The organization and team. How? What is the structure of these two companies? Is it a big one or a medium-sized one? Or what?
Yeah, actually in the bigger companies discussions, they usually just uh, skip part of the team
Mhm,
discussions. Actually, I've seen some literature that bring out the discussion of this team is actually during the past 10 years. I think there are more and more findings that have found, especially for example, the leadership style.
mhm.
So
Okay.
some of the leaders they are different, but their role can be ignored, and also the way for co-working. This one.
Mhm,
And in internal competition, there is one interesting case. So, for example, I've seen it earlier in one Asian research, because there are some sayings that the Asian people they really like to be compared with each other. So, for example, let's say we are together and we are working in one team, and everyone we have the same salary for 1,000 euros per month. Let's just make an example. And then we got to know that, oh, we have the same, then we are really happy. But if there is one person sitting in the same room with us and he or she only have 1 more euro than us per month, then we will be unhappy for that. What is the reason we are doing the same task? And this actually can lead to the internal competition. The internal competition is something that cannot be may not be visible in a short time. It can be a feeling, it can be some resources that somebody has gained, or a training opportunity that somebody has gained, but their colleagues may not have it. So this kind of competition it can lead to even negative results. But the team level discussion is usually ignored, but the organization is usually something big and visible. So that's why that I put both of them here, because in my opinion, it's really, really important to separate, not to separate, but to bring in both organization and the team.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions?
I think maybe we're good for now.
All right, then let's move on to the most important and interesting page of today. So in the challenge, I got to know that one keyword is inclusive or inclusivity or inclusiveness. So I thought about that. How can I interpret more, or how can I tell about this challenge? How can I offer people more insights? Then I think that I have made some. It's actually a kind of comparison, but it's not. They are not conflicting to each other. This is my idea. They are not either A or B. Is a kind of two ways, two directions. They are not conflicting at all. These are the key tensions in talent management that I have summarized, that I have read so far during the several years. The most popular discussed way is inclusive or exclusive. So when you are talking about employees in one company, then you can say that, oh, I think all of the employees, they are talent. This is just one example. Or you can also say that only some percentage of the employees, they are talent. And this one is actually used more frequently in the bigger companies, because they cannot allocate everything the same to the different people in different departments, different teams, and different roles. And there are some theories discussed that the smaller companies, they use more inclusive ways because it's easier for them, or is more beneficial for them to say that, well, they're all the same. There is no difference. I offer the same salary, or I offer the same opportunity. People can work in a project. They can go somewhere else for training, and we will get them paid. But in the bigger companies, then it can be different. It can be challenging for them to make everyone the same. So they are more exclusive in the bigger companies. But in addition to the inclusive and exclusive, there are actually more and more. And here are the key five trends. The second one is object or subject. So when you are checking this page, so you can think in your mind, what is your own idea? Do you think talent are people? Do you think they are clever just simply as a clever person? Or do you think that maybe this person, he's really good at something, he or she has some specific technology or skill, so that I think he or she is a talent? What is your idea? And then, are they innate or are they acquired? So do you think that this person, they are born, or when they came, they are more advanced than others? So if you think that when you are selecting people, so when you recruit someone, or when you are assessing someone, you think that he or she is already so advanced, so experienced, so professional? Or do you think that it doesn't really matter how are you? We will give you the environment to develop. We will give you the opportunity, and you will be trained, and you will be better and better in the future. There are many ways. And the fourth type is input and output. Do you think that the talent, they are found in effort and motivation? Or do you think that, oh, this person, he or she is really good at learning, and he or she learns things really fast? Or maybe I saw that she is so energetic, and she is so motivated, and she is so happy every day. So I think that it's really great to be like this as an employee. Or is it better that I check the performance, check the outcome, check how many things he or she has done within past month? There are two ways. And last but not least, transferable or context-dependent talent. When you are regarding one person, and there are discussions that in the smaller companies, they will think that this person may have the ability to do multiple things at the same time, because they may not separate the roles really clear. But in the bigger companies, there can be something, for example, the job rotation. So one person, he or she can move to another similar or even irrelevant position and then move back. But there are discussions that the person who goes somewhere and learn something and then they come back and they will gain some new knowledge, experience that may benefit their original position. Here are 5 tensions together, but the idea is that it will never be simple. It will never be, so you cannot say, I'm inclusive, I'm subject, I'm innate, I'm output, I'm transferable. It's always, is never to be too single. And in addition to that, so when you jump out of the idea that you are an individual, and now you are thinking from the organization side, you may say that, oh, my organization, we want to be inclusive, but the awareness, how about the awareness? Do all your employees, they agree with you? Or do they think that even though you are saying about inclusive, but actually you did something that you only give some benefits to some small percentage of employees? So actually, I don't agree with you on this point. So what is the sense that you are saying that you are inclusive? This is awareness and your strategy. So whether you are implementing something that is consistent with what you want to do, and what is the decision and what is consistency. So there can be, it can be even that there is a kind of, it's called psychological contract. So when you want to do something and you really implement, but people can understand it in another way, and they may not be agree with you, and there can be even negative emotions, like they say that, oh no, even though you say that you are inclusive, but I don't see your idea is transparent. What you did is different from what you said, and it can cause really big negative effects.
How do those key tensions relate to, if I base for a company, how do those relate to creating the inclusive, or the inclusive, like creating the inclusive working environment? Like, is it only certain tensions that will lead to an inclusive, distant, and working environment, or does it not matter which of the tensions they think they are as a company?
This is the magic of the tensions. So there is no right answer for which one or which type that you should be. There is no right answer. And
Okay.
in addition to that, there is nobody that can say that I am 100% of this. I'm 100% of that. There is no 100% here. And then in addition, your awareness and others' awareness. So even though that you say, I am inclusive, but somebody or your colleague, they say that, no, you are not, or we are not. And the company's
So
strategy, so let me take one more example. Even though the company, they want to create inclusive environment, but the employee may understand it in another way, or their age, their background, like their education background, their working experience, these kind of background factors may also influence how they understand the strategy. So even though the companies say that they are doing it in this way, but people, they may interpret it in another way.
Okay. I also have a question that is,
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know it is correct or not, but I should ask this because I have some troubles when we are going to design our case.
Yeah.
So you said that something about inclusive. So are there any mechanism to measure inclusiveness?
So you want to ask how they are making inclusive?
Yeah, that means let's say that when a person comes to join the institute or some company,
Yeah.
so he or she should uh, match to that environment, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, uh, how can we identify that person is fully comfortable with that environment? Is there any mechanism to identify that?
Well, I guess your question is really interesting and is the key question of today. This is relevant to your challenge, I can understand,
Yeah.
but I should not, or I don't have the right answer to, or I don't have the direct answer for it. I'm studying about exclusive.
Okay.
What I do is that I found there are many mechanisms how the big companies, why they are exclusive, how are they exclusive, in what way they are implementing the exclusiveness. So let me tell you in another way, because there is nobody who have talked about how do I do inclusive, but there are more cases about how I do exclusive. Because when you are selecting something, when you are picking only something, it can be a bit easier that you are being fair, being uh, offering the same for everyone. So how they do exclusive. So when you are thinking about this point, let's maybe we can bring into the next page, like how are they
Sure.
doing exclusive?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I jot some. Here are three circles about the stages. It's about talent management stages. So you can think about after the person has came into the company, there are attraction and recruitment. We would say this is the identify, or how do you identify this person to be part of the employee, part of the outstanding employee, and then development, and later on the retention. So if you want to be exclusive, we answer it from another way. We want to be exclusive, and we only select, for example, 10% of the employees to be a leader in the future. So when you are selecting them, you may say that, oh my God, this person, he or she has been working, or he or she graduated from a really famous university, and she has really strong experience in some field, and she has some technical skills as well. So I really want to recruit her. And after that, I think she is really outperformed. She is hardworking. She showed her motivation, and I want to offer her something special in the future. I really want her to be the leader later in our company, so I select her. In addition to that, how can I help her to be a leader? I want to offer something to her. I can buy some training package for her. I want to send her to study one more master degree. I want to just do something special for her, but it's not the same for everyone. I only do this for her or this group of people. And later on, obviously, this is also discussed by the theory that it is really common that those people who receive something extra than others, they will have higher commitment and they actually perform better and they are more loyal to the company and they actually get promoted faster. So this is the way how the big companies or the multinational companies they are doing because it's not everyone who can be the leader in the future. We only have certain amount of director positions. It's not the same for everyone that can be a director. So how can we make this selection? we are selecting based on their, like here are on this page, there are different criteria. Like it can be influential, either based on the line manager's way or the company's strategy, how the company say that we should select this or that kind of people, or we should select based on their performance or result. And there are also studies, especially for example in Asian countries, that in Asian countries, the organizations, they prefer to select the people they are more advanced. Comparing with the European countries, they would say that the motivation is a really important factor in one person's career. It's not only about performance, because performance is the past, but your motivation is the future. So there are many different ways to measure it. So regarding your question, how should we or how can we implement the inclusive mechanism? So you can think in another way. How can we not to be exclusive or not to be too obvious exclusive for everyone? So when you offer something to somebody, are everyone told that she is required or she need or she is supposed to do something, so she have to accept something that somebody else don't have it? So the way that you interpret, the way that you tell others, and the result, your transparency, everything is really important in the stage, all the stages from beginning to the end. And in addition, how when you are offering something, I wrote here the three pluses here. The distributive justice, the procedural justice, and the interactional justice. So when you offer something, the thing that you offer, so when you just make an easy example, you want to offer everyone only one apple. When you distribute, are you really offering everyone the same good quality apple? When you are offering the apple, the procedure, is it transparent that, hey, today is Monday and at 4 p.m., I will offer everyone the same red color, good quality apple? When you are telling that, is it transparent that you are doing? And in addition to that, the interactional, the way that you are communicating. Hey, I think my apple is smaller than yours. Okay, are you able to change one? Or how you could deal with this kind of problem? So when you are thinking about this kind of justice, these are the three key type of justice. How you distribute, what is the process, and how you are communicating and telling the result, and how you are balancing in between, balancing each other. These are the key points. This is my answer for your question. But in addition to that, keep in mind, how should you evaluate the result? Or in another way, when we are making investment, you can say that I can calculate the return on investment, the ROI. But this kind of human related topics, how you know the result. There is some interesting discussion about return on expectation. So when you can ask people, hey, we did something last week. Are you satisfied? Or does this at the same level than your expectation? Or how do you think? So when you are making these kind of decisions in your strategy, no matter is a change or is a something new, you have to balance the process, the result, and also people's thinking. I hope that I have answered your question.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up questions, if I may.
Go ahead.
So now, based on what you say, especially the interaction or how you express and what is expected, thinking back to the first or second slide that you had regarding the tensions.
This one?
Not the tension, sorry, the one before maybe was it.
The
Yes,
levels.
this one, the levels. So if I think that I'm a manager in a company and I'm trying to make it not exclusive,
Yeah.
and I communicate, then do I need to make sure that I communicate in a way that considers this macro level?
The macro level.
No, I mean like considering all of those levels, like does the company need to ensure that the way they are doing their actions and the way they are not interpreting, but interacting with their employees match or is adapted to the factors of these levels?
Yes. So this kind of this page is about the different levels. Is actually the key point is the multi-level thinking. The key point is that you have this kind of thinking in your head. When you are implementing something, then it's better that you can take care this and that. But there is one simple answer for the question is, as an organization, the purpose is to make benefits. So when you are able to make more benefits, it's not only about your how much money that the organization have earned, but also how is their employee, how are they performing. So the human side, from the human side, is better that you can take care of all the factors here. And there are even more. Here are just only some examples that are frequently discussed. There can be even more. It can even be conflicting. Some of the factors can be conflicting. Like, for example, if you think that, oh, this manager's style is like different from mine, and she prefer to offer more salary, but I don't want to be that hardworking, and I just want to get more benefits. It's not the salary. There can even be something in between that is not consistent with each other. But when we are making the decisions, it's based on are you an employee, are you a line manager, are you a director, are you what is the role of you? So when you are making the decision, it's absolutely not possible to handle everyone, every factor, make everything the same. So you can have your own emphasis. But at one side is that are you consistent when you are making the decision? Are you consistent with the organization's strategy? What you are doing, is it the same target that this organization want to do? This is one side. And on the other side, when you are doing it, you are the person that implement something. But think about from the employee side. If you are the one that will receive this result, are you happy with this process or are you happy with this mechanism? So think about from two sides. You are not only one person. You stand for the company and you are only part of the employee.
Okay, so if I think about student perspective, they really have to be in this dual or even tri-dimensional area, meaning they have to think about the employee side, the manager side, and then the organization side, meaning the strategy and the company goals and what the company aims to be. Okay.
That is what I want to say. I actually have something interesting to tell by the end.
Tell.
Yeah, so the key takeaways. There are many interesting points, but I want to point it out here is that according to the research, a lot of multinational corporations, they are more exclusive, and the small and medium-sized companies, they are more inclusive. This is told in the theory that I found really interesting. But how and why? There is not too many comparison discussions that can bring in the two types of organizations and compare. It's really hard to compare, actually. It's easier that you focus on one case, but it's really hard that you say, oh, this one is in this way and that one is in that way. Which one is better? We don't know. And one more interesting story is that it's a story. I don't know which company it is, but this company is really big. And this company is operating in several Asian countries as well. And especially, they found that, so you can imagine about the stages when they are selecting, in order to be inclusive, they want both male and female to have the opportunity to go abroad. They have some other offerings for them. But the thing is that when they want to make 50% and 50% for men and women, but men and women they refuse to go somewhere. They refuse to accept the opportunity. And there is one field study. The field study means that the researcher go to this company and they just observe. They do not interview, they do not do anything, but they just be there and observe. The finding is that when men, because there are more men, they are smoking, and when they are smoking, they usually stand together. And in Asian culture, it's really typical that men they smoke. It's like similar to here, for example, in Finland, many people they just have coffee together. But in Asian countries, there are many men that smoke together as a kind of break time. And the men, they know much more knowledge. They gain more knowledge or they know more things about, oh, who is going to be promoted as the next leader in our team? Or is that a really good decision to move to that job? Or is it really beneficial to study something else, even though it is paid by the company? So they get a lot of this kind of, we call it small messages during those small smoking time.
If
And
if
this,
I may ask,
yeah.
because this is like, for example, the smoking is really for people who are maybe in an office or like in person on site. So how would this, for example, how could this be implemented online? Does the research show what kind of similar happening, similar events on a daily basis would be able to have the same ending results as a group of persons smoking, for example?
Well, at this point, I haven't seen any interesting findings because because the COVID is just several years ago, and our research is usually later than the fact. There are much discussions about, for example, that people they feel lonely because they are not connecting to each other, and if there can even be the online meetings, the online coffee breaks, we can even call it the online smoking time, whatever. But it's really really hard to say how are we managing these kind of activities would be more beneficial. This is only one field study that some researchers they found in Asian countries that when the men they are smoking, they know more and it can influence their final decision later. There must be something else in, for example, in European countries. But this was the problem because they saw that what is the reason that the female they are selected, but they just want to drop out? Is it because of their family? Is it because they have several kids? Or what is the reason? And this is the extraordinarily interesting finding that they found. It can be the smoking as well. There are many tiny little things in the daily working life that can influence the outcome. It's not only like the bigger decisions, the daily working. It can even be something else. It can be even a coffee break. So, for example, bring in the challenge into consideration when you are implementing. For example, you want to be inclusive, then are you able to handle those kind of coffee breaks? Are you sharing enough information, or are people happy to talking about these topics and how it will influence employees' feelings? Yeah, try to take care like those kind of little things into consideration as well, because it can also be influential. So keep in mind, inclusion is not contradicting to exclusion. You cannot say, I'm only inclusive. Maybe in your head, you want to say, oh, this person is better in this kind of AI skill, and somebody else is not. This is also one comparison. So you can never be 100% inclusion or exclusion. But the way that when you are implementing something, it will be influential. And also keep in mind, outcome is usually long term and it may not be visible in a short time. So when you are doing something, you have to think ahead. Maybe 5 years later, there can be this or that kind of factor that may come into being. So when you are caring about the current fact, then you have to think the things ahead. What will happen later on? And two more things that still need to consider about. There are tiny little discussions that compare multinational corporations and the small and medium-sized companies. There is no really obvious comparison. There are only some sayings like the MNCs, they are more exclusive, and the SMEs, they are more inclusive. But how, in what way, to what extent that the decisions can influence the speed of the company growth, or how, there are not much research on this point yet. And in addition, there are a lot of discussions on the multinational corporations in many different fields. There can be, there are also sayings that, for example, in the education industry, like for example, the universities, there are really clear rankings. Like when you publish something, then you are regarded to be more advanced. And let's say in the hospitals, there are some studies in hospitals, and one case is the Stockholm University's hospital, and they found that the hospital, they are more inclusive, like the small companies, even though they are really big hospital, they are really inclusive because they want to keep the people, they want to maintain the really good positive environment, and they offer people the same thing, but the result can be different. And in another way, think about your case. You can be the tech field. What is the difference between tech field and other fields? There is not much discussion yet. So I do not comment on this, but you have to consider about this when taking into consideration about the previous the level factors, these tensions, and also the stages. Thank you. Here are my answers. Just go ahead and ask something if you want.
Is there any more question from the participants? Because it was very nice that you allowed us to interrupt you and ask questions when we were on the slide.
It's better that you ask because otherwise you may forget about it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But there is like 4 or 5 minutes left, I think. So if there is any questions, you may ask. It was very interesting to know about this. I'm especially curious how the few examples that you presented about, like for example, the smoking or the hospitals, which are really like on-site things, like how can these be adapted online? So, and especially in the tech field, because the tech field is quite a lot online as well. So
Yeah.
if there is no answer yet, this is something very interesting to research for the students. But do you have maybe any existing research that you know would treat of this this area, this online inclusive or distant working environment? Because this is what they're trying to create here, figuring out how ad search can have this distant
Yeah,
inclusive environment.
thank you for the question. That is what I want to know about also. So thank you very much for your
So
Yeah.
if you
question.
have any idea of research they could use, or
So from my own perspective, like when you are thinking about this kind of inclusion tasks from the stages point of view.
yeah.
So when you are recruiting somebody, what kind of criteria are you using? Are you selecting like based on their education level, or is age one factor? Because age is something that can cause a big difference. Like for example, in European countries, like age is just a number, but in Asian countries, it can be that you can be unemployed if you are over 45. Yeah, it can be really different. So those kind of criteria, when you are making it, people agree with you. If your employees are from different countries, do they think their own age will influence their salary, or is it because of their culture, or it can be something that they be treated differently? When you offer the training, it's not only about training, about growth, about salary, like how do they think some people, they may say that, oh, I really want to have more salary, only salary. I don't care to work more. I just want to have more salary. Or are people more long-term oriented and they want to say that, I have the passion that I want to be a leader. Would that be possible somehow? So you have to listen to your employees in order to be inclusive, because everyone, they may be different. So you have to know what is their fact, what is the thing that they want. You have to listen to them. And later on, you must want to retain them, because you have offered them something, and you think that they are a good colleague, and you want their commitment, and you want them to be here, not to move somewhere else in a short time, because you also want them to contribute to your own business. So what you can do is a kind of, we call it the psychological contract, is a kind of mental contract between the employee and you. And the studies, they believe that when you are offering something to them, and they will respond to you. So when you send a signal to them, what is your color? Are you really happy? Are you sharing it in a positive way? And then they will respond to you, definitely. These are based on the studies.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.